Friends, this is the last show of the month. And I got to tell you something. I'm as plumb tired and tuckered as you can imagine. Today was just, did a lot of stuff. I've got all kinds of phone problems. I'm trying to go to 4K and 4G and 3. Oh, God, I'm just tired. Did 2 hours on substituted for Mark Levin tonight. WABC did that. Did a whole bunch of stuff today. But I wanted to get this last word in. And I wanted to get this across. Maybe for no other, and we won't spend a lot of time. I just want to thank you for, of course, being a part of this. But I tried today to explain, and I don't know if I'm doing a good job, but I'm trying to explain why it matters to me to try. Oh, bless your heart, DB. Thank you so much. You were listening to this. I was trying desperately to try to convey to people why I think the Virginia Giuffre case is so critical. I know that may kind of sound crazy or whatever it is, but I can't put into words how crazy or how sad that is. You go on InfoWars anymore, it's where I found you. We want arrests and a lot more deportations. I'm with you on that one. You know, I hope, how do we say this? I hope, I don't know if you're on, excuse me. This, you got to forgive me. I'm so beat. Oh, bless her heart, Laura's a new member. I hope we get I hope we get the arrests. I hope we do that. I hope we have somebody somewhere who does. Mrs. L is going to be telling you a lot about what she did today. She had quite the day. That's all I'm going to tell you. She had quite the day, and I gotta pick. Oh, look at this. Love your channel so much. Bless your heart. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I got to pick her up at the train station coming up. Wait till she tells you where she went today. I'll let her tell you. Because it's important. But there is so much going on, and this president is doing so much great work. So I'm thinking to myself, for me to sit back and say, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, I don't want to ever be in that position. But I will tell you nonetheless that, and this is important to note, this is very, very serious. It's important for people to understand that we are so lucky to have him, and so lucky to have everybody involved in this, because I got to tell you something. It is so monumentally critical and so monumentally important that we thank him and that we do everything in our power to never forget kind of how he changed everything. And I mean that. How he changed everything. And I mean everything. Lionel, I have a question. Oh, where is it? Here we go. I have a question. Why would Giuffre live in a British Commonwealth with a royal as a head of state? I heard today, I was on, I hope you caught me with my good friend Sean Atwood this afternoon. And he brought up something which I did not know. I didn't know that much about her husband. Turns out that her husband is an Australian, and he may have been the impetus, dare I say, for getting her over there in Washington. I mean, not Australia. So maybe that explains it. I don't know. I feel kind of sad for her because of the fact that she was basically on her own. This case makes no sense to me at all, and it never did. And I don't even know how to put this into words. None of it makes any sense to me. And one of the reasons for it is for the obvious reasons. We don't know anything about her. We don't know anything about her what am I trying to say? We don't know anything about her story. You see, I was suggesting, speaking of Pam Bondi, I was suggesting that we need to have somebody go. This is very critical. We need to have somebody go from the FBI to Washington and say, this is a person who is not just somebody who is, an American, but this is a key witness in one of the most important cases ever. One of the most important cases that applies to our country. And we have so much. We have absolutely so much that's involved in the investment of keeping her alive that we've got to know toxicology reports. We've got to see pictures, witnesses, and you, Australia, have to explain to us what it is you're doing, to try to bring about a conclusion to the situation. And that's it. It's that simple. Now, look, I understand that this thing is very complicated, but I don't even know what to tell you. So much of it doesn't make any sense. I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to even start in terms of all the stuff that doesn't make any sense. I just do hope that somebody realizes that the president or somebody, and look, for all I know, President Trump, bless his heart, could be in the position where he says, look, I can't push this for reasons I can't explain. Okay. Today when I was doing the ABC thing, somebody called up and said, I think it's Mossad. I said, why would Mossad be involved with Virginia Giuffre? Why now? Do me a favor. Help me with this. Help me join the movement by reminding people we just don't sit back like kids and think of cool storylines that may or may not work. Like, wow, this is cool, Mossad. Yeah, that's cool. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. We don't work like that. That's not what we do. That's all I got to tell you. That's not what we do. That's not how it works. For us to say that, why not CIA? Why not some naval intelligence? I mean, why do people do this? And I've got to tell you this. I understand we are in right now this absolute focused story and attention regarding Israel and regarding Gaza. But I've got to tell you something. I'm so tired of it. I'm all for saying, you know what? I think there's a case to be made for, we sure as hell should investigate all the people who are not necessarily Jewish, but people who have connections with Israel. Ehud Barak. Shall I go any further? Alan Dershowitz, who is not necessarily, he certainly, I think, is as much a part of the Israeli government and has done so much to act as legal counsel for them. Not only that, Wexner, and also the idea of Epstein kind of being a dupe. That's not enough to point to Israel, but it wouldn't surprise me if a portion or a faction of the Israeli government knew what was going on. That doesn't mean they had anything to do with killing her. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just because you say, well, that might be, I can see that. Just like it would probably do us there would be a lot of reasons for us to involve ourselves in this. I want to bring something up to you very, very carefully. I want you to listen to me. This being the last day of the month. And I mean this. I was talking to a good friend of mine. We were talking, Carla, the CEO, Cookie CEO, and others were talking, and also our European friends, who really got the you-know-what scared out of them when all of a sudden there was a complete and total collapse. A grid shutdown completely. Believe me when I tell you this. This could happen now. I'm not saying this to be dramatic. I'm not saying this just to whatever. I'm telling you, this could happen now. Whatever happens, and especially with people trying to pay us back, because there are people around this country there are also folks who want to see false flag operations, and you can do the math or figure out that one. So it's very, very important for you to listen. And I mean really listen right now, because you have got to think about what happens if there is something, God forbid, an EMP, some Carrington class disaster, or God knows what. Listen carefully to our good friends from preparewithlionel.com. Let me ask you a question. What happens when the trucks stop? Think about this. Trucks, the trucks that bring your food. And then when one store closes because of a riot or ransomware hit or a hurricane or even manufactured weather. Oh, yeah, we've talked about that. What happens when all of a sudden, suddenly, the entire supply chain collapses like dominoes? What happens then? We've seen it happen, and it doesn't take much. And that's the thing you've got to think about. A trucker strike, a cyber attack, some EMP, some Carrington class disaster, a city shut down by violence. It only takes one spark for shelves to go empty fast. And when that happens, and when that moment hits, you either have what you need or you don't. And that's why I am telling you, I want you to go to preparedwithlionel.com. Our trusted friends at My Patriot Supply, they're offering unbelievable deals right now. You've got to see deals on emergency food kits that could save your life and your sanity. Over 2,000 calories per day for 3 months of food per person, shelf stable for 25 years, in any kind of combinations you want, and made to taste like actual meals, not cardboard, not some military MRE. These kits aren't just insurance, they're peace of mind. So go to preparewithlionel.com, secure your kit, secure your future. Preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com, because when the world breaks down, the prepared don't panic. That's exactly right. I was just watching my good friend. I want you to check this out. A guy I love, the Dale Watson Show. Dale Watson, I think, is one of the most important and the most critically critical, and I'm going to be redundant, country music singers around. He did that song Caught, which is the greatest thing in the world. In any event, that's on. I just happened to be noticing this on YouTube. I don't know why I brought this up. I want to go back to what I'm saying. A while back, speaking about Mossad, listen, I got no problem with people talking about the liberty or talking about whatever you want, because there is evidence of that. But you remember the great story we always talk about, the quote Israelis, the dancing Israelis. Do you remember that? And how they were responsible theoretically for they were found on 9/11 dancing and apparently celebrating. So people said because they were Israelis, Israel was involved with that. Because Larry Silverstein, who owned the properties, is Jewish, or might have been, that Israel was involved. Listen, I got to tell you something. It takes more than that. Could be, but that alone doesn't do it. Johnny Mass says 50 years ago today, the last helicopter left Vietnam. The war ended and not a word in the news about it today. Forgotten history. Johnny Maz the Spaz, what was Vietnam about? Good luck, my friend. Good luck figuring that one out. If you ever get the chance to go to Washington and you ever have the chance to see the beauteousness of it, I want people to recognize that until and unless you stand there and you see the names in the configuration, it's not just one wall. It's spread out. These walls are all over the place. I mean, sometimes there's a long wall, sometimes there's an undulating wall. I don't understand this. I live in a world where I thought people just wanted to get to the bottom of stuff. Apparently they don't. I don't know why it happened. I don't know what the story behind Vietnam really was. Or I think I do. But the point is, it's not official. Nothing that you hear is the truth. Nothing that you hear is the truth. Sorry, it's not the truth. 55, 58,000, whatever the number is, it is so monumentally horrible what those people went through. And I want to go back to the Ghislaine thing. I don't want her to die in vain. Did you hear where Sean and I talked about? They said she had a broken neck years ago. A broken neck. It's almost as though, and I can't prove this, but if you told me that she had died not years ago, but a while back, and that this was all just made up at the last minute, I wouldn't be surprised, because nobody cares about her. Nobody's looking out for her. And nobody's asking why it happened. Nothing. There's something so sad. They took her as a child. When she went to Thailand to learn massage work, I mean, come on. This girl never had a chance, because remember, once this happens to you, once you're put into the position where you are sold, trafficked in, you lose your sense of soul yourself. You lose your sense of kind of who you are. And you realize, I'm just chattel. I'm cattle. I'm livestock. I'm human livestock. That's something that sticks with you so long. And nobody's going to pursue this. Even her lawyer boys made it sound like, well, that's the way it goes. He might have had more information, certainly, than I do. I hope he does, for him to come along and say that, because when you go along with the issue of suicide, you're basically saying, in essence, all investigation stops. Nobody ever goes back and double checks to see whether that story actually made sense or not. So that's the way that is. I want you to think about that, folks. I want you to also know, and listen to me very carefully, that your involvement in this means so much to me. So important. So critical. I mean it. I mean it like you can't believe. And this has been a good month. This is we wind down. And I am absolutely today at my, I think I've hit a wall today. I just hit a wall. There's just so much going on, so much talking, so much. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say to my dear friends, like Johnny Maz is Baz, and Laura, our new member, and Johnny Maz is Baz. Probably have a little bit of a truncated show tonight. I know today was last minute because I wasn't sure. I was out and I was doing it. It doesn't matter. But tomorrow is the first day, May 1st. And I want to thank you, everybody. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it immensely. And we're probably going to back it on out of here. So you have a great and a glorious night. Thank you so much. Please follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. I love her to death. And she so appreciates your support as well. She's doing the Lord's work, as people would say. And then don't forget to follow us here at LionelNation. In any event, have a great night. I appreciate it. God bless you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And don't forget the monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue you. Da.